Hello, everyone. This is Travis.
And this is Jonathan.
And we'd like to welcome you to the 100 Ways to Love a Cat podcast.
That's the podcast that eventually plays the song 100 Ways to Love a Cat.
This one right here, the one you're listening to, right at this moment, this is that podcast, and you will hear 100 Ways to Love a Cat. The full song, not sections, not segments, not clips, not partials, not
not someone giving a recap. It's not a recap.
No, it's not a recap at all.
It's
You're
not
going
an
to
unboxing.
hear
It's the actual song.
the full song, 100 Ways to Love a Cat. And guess what? If you like it, come back next week. You know what? You're going to hear it again.
You couldn't talk us out of it if you wanted to.
If they came to me right now, if the those big podcast producers, those big companies, those, who I'm talking about, that hold on to all the funds, that don't let it trickle down.
They're like the Ricci brothers.
The Ricci brothers. If they came to us, using them as an example, the Ricci brothers come big pod.
Ooh, that would be
big
exciting.
Well, hear me out. And they said, guys, we love what you do.
Oh man,
we got a setup for you. Here's a studio. We're going to pay you.
That's our dream come true.
I know, but listen. He says the only thing is you got to drop the song.
Okay.
No. Well, no. That's why we. No, Jonathan. That's why we do. If they said drop, I would say no. I can't. That's my mission in life. That's one of my goals. That's how I get. It's therapeutic, hopefully for many others, but it is also for myself. And I don't know if I could fill up that hole with all that podcast money, the fancy podcast money, and the fancy podcast equipment and microphones and cords and all of that stuff, computers too, would make up to fill that hole. It'd be like a giant 35-minute hole in our podcast. And I don't know what would you fill that with? What would you do?
What if we just talked about the song and let people...
No, I don't think we can do it justice that way. I will talk about the song, and I love talking about the song when somebody stops me in the street and the song comes up. Yes, I will talk about it. I'll talk about, how long it took us to write it. I'll talk about, coming up with that particular melody change, the chord change there. I will talk about the song, but I would much rather you listen to it. And plus, if you haven't heard it and you're just hearing us talk about it, that's not going to make any sense to anyone.
I guess I would just say maybe let's not be hasty and maybe we could think about it. Maybe try to come up with some ways.
Well,
I'm with you. I get it now. What you're saying is that's what we always...
We're dedicated to do so.
This is about the song.
Exactly.
This is about the song. But that's a big opportunity.
If he wanted to say, give us another podcast about something, or both of them would want to give us a podcast about something else that we would co-host, that's debatable. But as long as I get my 100 Ways to Love a Cat podcast in, we're
okay.
Good. Like this is a package deal. If you want that, you got to have this. Of course, he's saying I want this, but I don't want that. But I'm saying, no, if you want this, that too is part of it. So this is it.
So if the Ricci brothers company came.
Sure. I don't think they would come. I don't think they personally contact people. It's, they have.
But what's a possibility is the other Ricci, Salvador Ricci, the third Ricci brother. If Ricci brothers came to us, that would be crazy.
It would be.
But if Salvador Ricci came on his own with his company, the third Ricci brother, that wouldn't be so surprising.
I would still consider it either way, though. An offer is an offer from whoever. I don't think he would be able to pay us.
No, not like Ricci brother. The other Ricci brother.
That's what they're about. They're about if you bring in the money, they're going to give you a percentage of it back, and that's how it works. We would have to start doing ads. I think that's another thing because here's the thing about ads. It's not that I'm against ads. I understand people have to do ads in order to function in society. I get it. I understand. But the thing about ads, a lot of them are jingles, or a little song, a little of this, a little of that. And I think that's going to take away the only melody you should hear on 100 Ways to Love a Cat is the 100 Ways to Love a Cat song.
That's true. We can't
us humming something, or I heard this song in the week. That's fine. Like when we go, like, oh, I love this song, and that's okay. But actually playing, I don't want to play a Hardee's ad in the middle of the song. I'm not going to do that. Sorry.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I listen to Ricky Brothers podcasts, and I listen to the third Ricky Brothers podcast.
Well, they're not really on that. You know that. I mean, they just sit up and count the coinage. They don't actually do.
And I listen to the third Ricky Brothers podcast, Marco Ricky. So it's like there's the Ricky Brothers, the first two, and then there's the third Ricky brother, Salvador Ricky, and then there's the third Ricky Brothers company, which is Marco Ricky. Which I don't really listen to any of those.
I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with that.
They're all about sports.
Right, yeah.
But the thing is, if you can't keep your family together in one company, then why do you expect me to listen to your podcast?
Exactly. That's another thing right there, what you just pointed out. That's shaky ground right there.
If I hear that soft beef jingle one more time, ugh.
Once is enough, and once is too many, as far as I'm concerned. If it's being played on this podcast.
Now, if you're offering me the sandwich, I'll take a trip.
I think that's when people do that. I think that's a natural. I think that makes more sense instead of money. I like this product so much that I'm going to be out there selling soft meat,
soft beef.
I'm going to be selling
soft meat is.
That's
okay.
Yeah, I understand.
But I'll get a soft beef single.
Right.
But a soft meat single.
But if you think it's delicious and that's what you like, that should be enough for you to do an ad, because then you're doing it legitimately. You are a patron. You know,
so like you would do a soft meat and they'd ask me and I'd be like, I like a soft beef, and then we get two for the price of one.
Well, I don't know if either of them are in the market for podcasts.
Well, I've been to soft
ads
because the Ricky Brothers. When you get also the Ricky Brothers play hardball, so when Soft Beefs is on there doing their jingle, they're like, you can't do this anywhere else. They're like, well, what if we wanted to go over to 100 Ways to Love a Cat? Ricky Brothers would be like, no way. But they'd be like, we're in negotiations with them now. We're going to give them everything they want, but they have to drop the song.
Well, see, these difficult decisions are some that fortunately we'll never have to make, because I seriously doubt the Ricky Brothers, the main ones, are never going to.
Well, Salvador or Marco. I saw Marco in person.
Well, I'll talk to them.
He was at the rodeo.
Well, I don't mind talking to them if they're interested in some sort of collaboration. Well, good. That's fine. I mean, if I saw the actual Ricky Brothers, I would give them a card.
I need to order some more cards.
Yeah, because I think I'm down to like 4. Well, let's get to it. If you're here to hear 100 Ways to Love a Cat, now is the time that you're going to hear it. When should I play it, Jonathan?
Are you seriously asking me?
Mm-hmm.
Now.
There you go. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 1. Keep a tidy house for them. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 2. Be sure to clip their claws. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 3. Scoop their box daily. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 4. Brush them with a hairbrush. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 5. Don't squeeze their paws hard. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 6. Give them some fresh water. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 7. Let them have a fish. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 8. Buy them a scratching post. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 9. Put them in your lap. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 10. Be quiet when they're sleeping. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 11. Whisper, I love you. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 12. Rub their soft belly. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 13. Make sure their tail is clean. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 14. Give them a yarn ball. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 15. Make them a nice bed. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 16. Buy him some catnip. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 17. Play them some music. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 18. Get them a cute collar. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 19. Make sure they're vaccinated. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 20. Take their picture 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 21. Brush their teeth. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 22. Let them watch TV. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 23. Don't let them be outside by themselves. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 24. Feed them some cat food. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 25. Make sure their eyes are clean. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 26. Put a liner in their box. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 27. Give them a mat to wipe their feet on. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 28. Don't forget them on Christmas. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 29. Make sure they're spayed or neutered. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 30. Hold them like a baby. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 31. Let them have a towel or blanket. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 32. Keep your toilet lid down. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 33. Don't let them chew on power cords. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 34. Set them by the window. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. ways. Wait, 35. Cat-proof your home. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 36. Change their litter weekly. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 37. Praise them lavishly. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 38. Never feed him chicken bones. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 39. Teach them a funny trick. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 40. Give them a toy mouse. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 41. Clean up their hairballs. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 42. Keep them away from candles. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 43. Give him a separate zone. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 44. Never play with them aggressively. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 45. Increase his cuddle time. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 46. Be sure to watch his weight. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 47. If you leave, turn on the radio. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 48. Scold him firmly but with kindness. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 49. Respond when he meows. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 50. Give them a thing of cat grass. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 51. Scratch under his chin. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 52. Remind him that you love him. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 53. Give them a box to play in. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 54. If they're old, help them get down. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 55. Let them lick you with their rough tongue. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 56. Record precious memories. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 57. Dress them up in ribbons. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 58. Give them a flea treatment. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 59. Make a vet appointment. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 60. Give them a little wet food. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 61. When they scratch you, don't get angry. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 62. Give them some private time. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 63. Treat them with respect. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 64. When he grooms himself, say good job. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 65. Let them chase a laser pointer. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 66. Clean out their ears. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 67. Never smoke around them. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 68. Buy a sturdy cat carrier. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 69. Listen to them purr. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 70. Tempted by temptations. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 71. Give them your full attention. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 72. Don't trap them in the laundry basket. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 73. Let them sleep in bed with you. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 74. Make sure they're not locked in the closet. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 75. Don't let them play in plastic bags. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 76. Give them a massage. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 77. Touch him as you pass by. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 78. If he's on the couch, don't be mad. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 79. If they hate fans, turn the fan off. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 80. When there's a bird outside, say, hey, look. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 81. Intrigue them with a funny sound. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 82. Don't forget sardine time. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 83. Let him play with your old socks. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 84. Stroke in the direction that his fur goes. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 85. Admire his long whiskers. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 86. Keep his box away from his food. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 87. Pretend that he's a piano. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 88. Don't interrupt them while they're eating. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 89. When they're scared, go and comfort them. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 90. Let him have a lick. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 91. If their breath stinks, give them greenies. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 92. Give him a ball with a bell in it. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 93. If it's hot, put ice in their bowl. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 94. Let him drink out of the sink. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 95. Don't vacuum if it scares him. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 96. draw a picture of him. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 97. If you drop some food, it's theirs now. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 98. Read him a book. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 99. Feed him again. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 100. Just love them every day. 100 loving ways. 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 Ways to love a cat.
That was all of them.
All of it. Every bit of it.
We hope you enjoyed it again this
unfiltered,
week.
Unedited.
We're never going to mess with it. We're not going to go in. We're not going to cut a chunk out.
Why would anyone even consider doing that? It's just insane that anyone would think, oh, I love this song, but, let's add some, percussion to it or,
We're not going to do the remix.
No,
we're not going to do the dance version or the extended play EP. We're not going to do any of those things. This is as is. We did it once, and that's it.
Improve upon it. It is what it is. I don't know how you could make it any better with all of those things that you just said, the remixes and the different things that you said.
If any of those famous DJs came in here, it's the same thing as with the podcast companies. If Ham Hands came in, or who's that other fellow who's big in the clubs? Tooth. I wouldn't. If they came to me and said, "Hey, let us do this," I'd say, "It is what it is, fellas."
It's not yours to tamper with. And I know some people like people to do remixes, and I don't. I wouldn't. So that's just how I feel about it. It's our song. We can do with it as we please, and we will continue to do with it as we please, which is what pleases us, is to play it for all of you.
Oh, are you ready?
Pardon?
Our Not a Cab is here.
Our what?
It's not a cab, ride share.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, it says ride driver is here.
Okay. Oh,
we got to get to the airport.
You have the app. That's right. Yeah, I'm excited. I guess the next episode we will be
Mermelada Pequeña.
We will be there. It looks like, I talked with Trish. We got things squared away. She says, I need this, but when you get back, that may change. She said that may change.
What are you into her for? What are you into her for?
It's between Trish and I. We'll work that out. But I'm just glad it's working out. That's all that matters.
I just tell her like, hey, get over it. But
well, I don't have the same relationship with her that you do. It's a bit different from me. I don't know her. I'm not as close to her, so I can't say.
She will call a lawyer.
Well, I don't.
I mean, on people that don't mean anything to her. But after this trip, here's what I was thinking. Like, after this trip, I think you guys are going to be probably as close.
I plan on it.
Is that your only bag?
Well, I've got a duffel kind of thing. A duffel with some extra clothes just in case. But that's pretty much it for the most part. Trish tells me you're going to sweat through clothes, bring like 6 to 7 changes a day. Really? 6 or 7 changes? What if but if we're on the beach or just on
you can't, the water will stain whatever you're wearing. So if you don't have like a black-red bathing suit, I mean, it will be by the time you're done. So, I mean, you'll just look sort of like a goth chick or whatever. Just sort of everything blood red.
If it permeates your bathing suit, would that do something to your skin as well?
I mean, temporarily.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Yeah, temporarily. It's like,
temporarily, that's
washes off. You need to wash off when you get out of the ocean, no matter where you are, whether it's in San Francisco or, there's lots of oceans, and any of those that you get in, no matter which one it is, I don't care if it's the cleanest ocean in the world, and it may be.
Which one is that? What the cleanest ocean?
I don't know.
Greece? The Greece
ocean. One time I cared about oceanology, and I could probably answer that, but it's been so long.
When I was a kid, me too.
I loved it.
We
love the ocean. Some people like the outer space and like the spaceships and wanted to go to space and be an astronaut. Like, no, I want to be. I specifically Popeye the Sailor Man, because I knew he lived in the ocean.
I was so afraid, and it was a great way to help me get over my fear of the ocean and the depths and all the things that live down there, like Popeye and the octopus.
Sea hag.
Oh, the sea hag and the octopus.
Poop deck. Pappy.
All those famous characters and all the octopuses.
They all lived in the ocean.
And it was terrified me. And I think that was a good way. My parents had to, one of them said, here you go. Here's something. Just get in there and get over it. And now, look where we're going.
I'm excited.
Mermelada Pequeña.
It's
temporary. That's their slogan. They have that on the license plates. They have 3 cars.
There's 3 cars there for us?
No, in total. Okay.
In
Mermelada Pequeña, they have 3 cars, and they were gifts. One was from France, one was from Germany, and another one was from France. Wow. So they have 3. Like, we got the Statue of Liberty from France. They got 2 cars.
Well, I need to learn a little bit about the culture. I need to do a little studying. I'm going to get online and type in where I'm headed and see what they have to say about it, because I don't want to go down there just in the dark.
Wi-Fi on one of these flights. So for most of the time, you're just going to be watching.
Well, we're not doing the podcast from the flight. We'll need Wi-Fi.
You said you were going to get online, and when we get to that.
Look. Once we get there. Okay. Well, no, I'm talking about usually you can just give them your card and they'll let you surf the net for a period of.
These planes, Marmalada Pequeña Airlines, they're not equipped for a lot of things. They have one movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good.
And it's Braveheart. And it's dubbed.
It's a fine film, if I remember correctly. I remember it being good. It's been a while.
They were like, get us a long movie. We only have the technology to show one movie, and we need a long one. So they said, I think Braveheart was long. And so somebody said, well, can you find a copy dubbed into a language that's not English? And they said, I'm sure that exists. And so that's what we've got. It's fun, and this is a long flight. So by the time it's done, we're really going to be familiar with whatever language that is, too. Especially if you know Braveheart. Because if you're like, give me my freedom. And you're like...
It's been a while, but yeah.
When they say it...
It's just been a while since I've seen it. I can't remember all the details in it, but I know there was a great deal of battles in it, right?
Predominantly that.
I remember. Another long film is... Titanic, but I guess they wouldn't show that, even though it's not a plane, because still passengers in peril. People going somewhere.
Because if the plane goes down and then a boat comes to rescue you, you're going to be in not a great mood, and you're going to see a boat coming. You'll be like, "Well, I know how this story ends."
Another long film is "It's a Mad World." Do you remember that one from when you were? It's also about people traveling. That are under duress or very stressed out. So I don't know, but they're in cars mostly. There's just some airplanes in there. There's a few airplanes.
I'm not gonna watch.
It's a lot of different travel. There may even be a train in it, but it's long. The reason I'm bringing it up is because it's a very long.
I need to have heard of it. If it's long and I haven't heard of it, not a chance.
Right.
But you can bring these up to the stewardess or whatever they have.
No, I'm fine with Braveheart. Again, I haven't seen it in a while, but I think I kind of know the story well enough, so it's not important.
I'm going to have to. They're going to charge me. The Nada cab has already left, so I've got to call.
Well, you should have said something. Okay.
Charge me for that.
We've got to head off to our island resort.
Marmalada
Pequeña. Looking forward to that trip. We need it, and so I guess we'll be coming, not necessarily live. From where's it again? Say it again for me.
Marmalada Pequeña.
Marmalada Pequeña. I just want to make sure I pronounced it correctly.
Marmalada Pequeña.
Okay. We'll see you there.